Welcome back to Secrets Behind the Stars. Settle in, because what we're about to unfold has sent shockwaves through show business and left fans of Barış Baktas and Yağmur Yüksel trying to catch their breath. You've seen the headlines, you've seen the whispers, and today we're piecing together the story that has everyone talking. If you haven't subscribed yet, now is the moment. Turn on notifications so you never miss an update. Your support keeps this community alive and allows us to bring you the conversations everyone is having, but few dare to frame with care. Let's get straight to it. December 19, 2025. That date is already echoing across timelines and group chats, and for good reason. A leak appeared, quiet at first, then spreading like a spark in dry grass, suggesting a dramatic, deeply personal shift in the relationship of two of Turkey's most talked about names, Barış and Yağmur. For years, we've watched them side by side, applauding their wins, their smiles, their interwoven rise. Their chemistry was never forced, it was that rare alignment you can't manufacture. Perhaps that's why this news has hit so hard. Rumors always followed them like a shadow under studio lights. Was there a proposal in the works? Were they planning a future beyond the cameras? Would their joint projects continue to merge with their private world? People built stories around them because their presence together felt like a promise. But the information surfacing now sweeps away those expectations in one startling motion. This isn't a simple rough patch. The word coming from behind the scenes points to a decisive turn, no dramatic press release, no grand performance. Just a change that feels irreversible. How did this come out? The initial signal, as it so often does, seems to have emerged from circles close to production and confidants who have witnessed the private strain from just a few steps away. At first, some brushed it off as idle chatter. After all, if you follow celebrity life long enough, you know baseless rumors multiply on their own. But then something shifted, different sources began to echo the same details, and neither side rushed to shut it down. Silence can be its own confirmation, and the quiet here is deafening. From that moment on, the internet lit up. Instagram Reels and TikTok edits flooded feeds with their sweetest memories, while Twitter became a battleground for heartbreak and hope. The fandom that once moved like a single wave split into currents, some grieving, some rationalizing, and some already imagining new creative paths for them. The comments range from disbelief to empathy, from sharp-edged speculation to measured concern. You can feel the attachment people have to this couple, not just as performers, but as a symbol of what love could look like under the harshest lights. So what happened? Out of respect for privacy and because official lines remain blurred, we won't venture into unconfirmed specifics. What we can say is this. The decision appears to be thoughtful, not impulsive, and it signals a turning point that cannot be minimized. Up until recently, their public image spoke of balance and shared momentum. Red carpets, interviews, brand campaigns, everything suggested continuity. Then, almost overnight, the storyline changed lanes. Let's remember who we're talking about. Barış, with that combination of warmth and edge that makes every appearance feel unguarded yet magnetic. Yağmur, poised and grounded, as skilled at commanding attention as she is at choosing silence beautifully. When their paths crossed, it felt like watching two distinct rhythms find the same beat. Their evolution, both individually and together, became a sort of modern fable people loved to cheer for. Which is precisely why this development, if fully borne out, lands with such force. Beyond the immediate shock, there's room here for thoughtful questions. What does this mean for their creative choices going forward? Will joint projects be paused, reshaped, or quietly concluded? If they step onto a set or stage together again, how will that feel, for them, and for you? The answers will take time. Careers are long, and sometimes the most graceful moves happen off-camera, outside the tight frames of social media. There's another layer we can't ignore, the pipeline through which this news traveled. Leaks are the currency of our age, and the ethics are always complicated. When personal crossroads become public property overnight, the toll is real. Moments that should belong to two people suddenly belong to everyone, and timelines demand instant clarity. It's worth pausing to ask what is owed to us as followers and what must be left to the individuals living the story. Still, the magnitude of the reaction says everything about the bond Barış and Yağmur built with their audience. Fans have grown alongside them, celebrated firsts and forgave missteps, collected interviews like souvenirs, and saw in them a reflection of something honest. That's why the present moment feels like a hinge. The door behind has closed softly, and the one ahead hasn't yet been opened. Why might this be happening? We can imagine the possibilities without pretending to know. Maybe a professional fork in the road emerged. Conflicting schedules, new roles, a move that made distance more than a metaphor. Maybe a set of private decisions, layered and gradual, drew them toward different definitions of happiness. Or maybe life, as it loves to do, rewrote the script with one unexpected note. Whatever the cause, the tone of what we're hearing suggests care, not chaos. What comes next? If their past choices are any guide, it will likely be handled with grace. You've seen how they navigate the spotlight. Never melodramatic, never careless. Their strength has always been a quiet one. That's why many of us believe that even if they walk separately for a while, their impact won't fade. Their work, their presence, and the way they set a standard for how to be visible without being consumed by visibility, that remains. I want to acknowledge the emotional swings so many of you are feeling. You invested not just in premieres and performances, but in the idea of two people who seemed to understand each other, even when the rest of the world made noise. It's okay to sit with sadness or confusion. It's also okay to wait. Stories evolve. And sometimes the most meaningful chapters are the ones that aren't narrated out loud. As for the timeline, December 19, 2025 will be remembered. It started like any other day, interviews, rehearsals, strategic posts, and then the ground subtly shifted. The aftershocks are still moving through the fanbase and the industry. Publicists are drafting words that say enough without saying too much. Friends are circling wagons. Colleagues are trying to show support without overstepping. This is the choreography of a private change played out on a very public stage. Let's mark what we do know. The chatter has been consistent across multiple, normally cautious corners. Neither Barış nor Yağmur has rushed to reframe the narrative. The silence may be protective, or temporary, or both. What's undeniable is the ripple effect. People are reassessing, remembering, and recalibrating expectations for a couple who once felt like an inevitability. For those worrying about professional fallout, breathe. Both of them have built careers that stand on their own. Talent, discipline, and instinct don't disappear when personal tides turn. If anything, life's intensity often deepens the work. Expect thoughtful choices, perhaps a step back before a step forward, and projects that show evolution rather than retreat. They've earned the room to move in their own time. Meanwhile, the online world will keep spinning. You'll see edits of their sweetest interviews, captions begging for one more chapter, and threads that try to catalog every moment that predicted this. Remember that hindsight is a storyteller's favorite trick. It makes everything look inevitable when it rarely is. Real life is messier and more beautiful than that. As we consider the ethics of all this, here's a simple guideline for our community. Curiosity doesn't have to cancel kindness. We can discuss, examine, and feel, without turning speculation into spectacle. When the people at the center choose silence, it is not an invitation to fill the gaps with noise. It's a chance to let them breathe. So, yes, today is big. It may even be historic, in the way certain dates get underlined in the scrapbook of pop culture. But big doesn't have to mean cruel. We can hold the story with steady hands. We can admit we don't know everything. We can wait for what they choose to share and honor the parts that will never be said. To wrap it all in a single strand, the revelation shaking everyone today points to a profound change in the relationship between Barış and Yağmur Yüksel. Not a passing chill, not a publicity move, but a pivot that suggests their path as a couple has shifted dramatically. The conversations, the tears, the theories, they're everywhere. And yet, amid all the reaction, there's a thread of respect running through the most thoughtful voices, gratitude for what they've been, hope for what they'll become, and patience for the bridge between the two. Here at Secrets Behind the Stars, we'll keep our ears open and our tone measured. If statements come, you'll hear about them from us, with context and care. If the silence stretches, we'll honor that too. This channel has always been a place for passionate, empathetic viewers, and you've proven time and again that you can carry both feelings at once. Now it's your turn. How are you processing this? Did you see signs, or does it feel like the earth moved without warning? Do you think this will reshape their collaborations, or will time fold them back toward each other in a different way? Share your thoughts below. Your voice is part of what makes this community worth showing up for. If this conversation mattered to you, if it helped you make sense of the whirlwind, give this video a like so the dialogue reaches the people who need it today. Send it to the friends who have watched every one of their interviews and saved every clip. And if you've just found us, subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and tap the bell. We'll be here, following the story with tenderness, curiosity, and the respect Barış and Yağmur deserve. Whatever the next chapter holds, we'll turn the page together.